Yes, I finished Splinter Cell. The book, not the game. In 2004, Ubisoft hired someone to create some novels based off of their games. Since Tom Clancy was originally a writer, they decided it was only natural to release a book using the characters and the world created in Splinter Cell. Plus, they were close to releasing the third game in the original Splinter Cell trilogy, Chaos Theory. Not a bad idea, though I'll be honest, I'm not sure how big the overlap between Splinter Cell players and book readers is. What came out of this was a very boring and kind of bad book. I'm not a master of literary analysis or writing, but what I do know of it tells me that I wasted a very long time reading this. As a fan of the series and a writer in my spare time, this book made me annoyed several times for multiple different reasons. But before I get into my gripes with the book, let's simply go over the story. It takes place in the modern era of the mid-2000s. Switching between first-person perspective with Sam Fisher and a third-person perspective when focusing on anyone else, we meet our protagonist as he is sleeping in an air vent at a casino in Macau. He wakes up and prepares to finish his mission, but runs into an altercation, causing him to make a daring escape. Turns out he's trying to find information on a terrorist group called The Shop, and barely makes it out of the casino alive in a sequence that does not really feel like a Splinter Cell game. It describes Sam moving fast and nimble, the exact opposite of the slow and clunky movement we are used to in the series, or at least by the time Chaos Theory had released. During these opening chapters, we meet our important side characters. There's Colonel Lambert, the man giving Sam all his orders and direction. Then there's Carly St. John, the tech wizard who provides Sam with all of his information. And finally, there's Sam's daughter Sarah, who he keeps his job a secret from. We also meet several other characters, but they're only important for 1 or 2 chapters before they seemingly disappear, never to be seen again. At the same time, we are also introduced to the villains of the B-plot, Yuri and Vlad. We see them killing a fellow Splinter Cell agent, and by killing this agent, they have gained access to a list of Splinter Cell agents stationed around the globe. Personally, I find it really hard to believe that they just killed this guy as easily as they did, considering how much of a superhuman these agents seem to be. Also, around this same time, a terrorist attack happens and is claimed to be done by a group called the Shadows, which is like the most generic terrorist group name I could probably think of. Now Sam is doing missions in the Middle East to find more about the Shop and the Shadows. As this is happening, Sarah tells him that she is also going on vacation to the Middle East, specifically to Israel, with a boy she met at college named Eli. I hate that I share a name with this asshole. Thank God we have Half-Life 2, otherwise I'd be 0 for 2 with bad Eli representation in games. Can we get a hashtag not all Eli's trending? Throughout his investigations, we learn that the Shadows and the Shop are in cahoots. The Shop provides the Shadows with weapons in exchange for funding. Again, real original names here, guys. Let me guess, there's a group called the Bank that supplies them with money and a group called the Cleaners that cleans up after them. Maybe there's also a group called the Cooks who provide meals for the Shadows so they can go buy stuff from the shop with the money from the bank. Fuck. Anyways, the book goes into traditional political thriller format for most of it. Tensions rise as the good guys slowly gain the upper hands through espionage and missions. Sam does a mission, relays information, key players are revealed, bad guys talk and get angry because they keep getting duped, etc. It is kind of formulaic, and when it strays from that formula, it's not very good. In between chapters of Sam doing super secret agent spy stuff, we get to see the fun and romantic time that Sarah is having with Eli. They are with their friends Noel and Rivka in Israel by this point and are doing generic young couple things. Well, that is until Eli spikes their drinks, kidnaps Sarah, and then has Noel kill Rivka. I know love can make you do stupid things, but I still cannot believe that Sarah didn't see a million red flags with this guy. I mean, we find out later in the book that he was literally on a suspected terrorist list. Come on, girl, you can do better. Once captured, Sarah decides to go on a hunger strike as Eli tries to apologize to Sarah. She stands her ground like an absolute #girl boss, tells Eli to fuck off on several occasions, and actually holds out for a very long time until Yuri and Vlad have to get rough with her. Once they finally do, she uses the burner emergency phone that her dad gave her to contact him. Sam gets a message that says he has 72 hours to meet them or his daughter dies. But there's no time for that as the Shop is about to fire a giant missile. Oh no! Long story short, the Shop has been trying to build a weapon called a Babylon Supergun. which to put it simply is like a really, really, really big and dangerous grenade launcher. They have finally completed it, and it is now ready for launch, so it's now up to Sam to go and blow the thing up, or at the very least, stop it from launching. The leader of this project, Nasir Tarigan, the leader of this project, Nasir
Tarigian,
is a terrorist thought to have been dead for ages. After his wife and child died due to a bombing from Iraq or something like that, he got so mad that he vowed revenge on the entire country of Iraq. He got plastic surgery to change his face, legally changed his name to Namik Basaran, and started an anti-terrorism charity organization called Tirma. He uses leverage and popularity as Namik to start construction on a shopping mall in Turkey. It really is just a front though to hold this big-ass Babylon supergun. Besides his whole plan being just like fucking stupid, it gets thwarted when members of the Shadows just kind of walk in and go, "lmao, we never liked you," and kill him. But then they aim the gun for Jerusalem? I still don't really know why they would, even after they try and explain their reasoning behind it. It feels like they should just, like, I don't know, try to abort the launch and figure out everything and have it fire when they have a more concise and clear target. Anyways, Sam is there, stops the missile, and the world, or at least Jerusalem, is saved. The whole facility they were using to hide the missile also goes up in flames, along with everyone left inside. Now it's time for Sam to go save his daughter. Third Echelon, the agency Sam works for, is able to locate Sarah with help from the Israeli military. They bust in, Sam says some cheesy one-liners that feel way out of character, and everyone is dead except for Eli. Sarah is rescued and Eli is taken in for questioning. Now that we've heard the story though, I want to complain about the actual book itself for a minute. The whole book just feels boring. The author spends way too long describing things and explaining things to the reader. There's a gear-up sequence that takes 3 pages, and it just feels like I'm reading an excerpt from the video game manual. Every single detail and fact is followed by an explanation from Sam. I get he has a lot of time to himself to think while he does missions, but holy fuck, he just keeps yapping. There is also a ton of fluff in this book. No, I did not need a chapter where I hear about Sam's daily life and how his Krav Maga teacher wants to fuck him. I never thought I'd hear him utter the phrase, "in another life I'd jump her bones," but here we are, I guess. The story also wraps up way too quickly considering just how much build-up there is. You could seriously cut a third out of this thing and it would be just fine, probably even better. I want to read this book to see Sam do cool secret agent stuff, and I don't want to hear about how depressing it is to live his daily life. Even his quips and one-liners feel like way too much, especially compared to the games. Normally he has a very dry, quick sense of humor.
Bad news.
Ah! Okay, very funny, Tahoe. Hey! Oh!
I'm not Tahoe.
Oh!
But there are moments here that write him as an MCU veteran. Finally, the villain's plotline was really fucking stupid. I understand the motive, his family died and he wanted revenge, but getting plastic surgery, starting an anti-terrorist group, and then working with said terrorists in an attempt to build a giant railgun in an under-construction shopping mall, only able to fire once? Holy shit, man. There are much better things you could do with that kind of time and resources when it comes to, I don't know, trying to, be a bad guy. My friend Logan actually also had this book, and he decided to do a little digging. He found out that it was written by someone called David Michaels. David Michaels is actually a pen name for an infamously bad writer known as Raymond Benson. Benson actually would go on to write the novelization for Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, which depicts Snake in a totally accurate and definitely not really stupid way. Check out these cool, lines from the book. That's definitely something Solid Snake would say. But yeah, overall, this book isn't even necessarily, horrible, but it's just so boring. There's just way too much other stuff and not enough of Sam actually doing Splinter Cell stuff. I'm glad I picked this up for $2 at a garage sale, because I would not have paid $10 for this. Overall, a 5 out of 10. Thanks for watching.